Good morning and happy Tuesday, fourth grade. Today we're going to focus on how we can solve measurement word problems using the four operations. So our operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Before we get into that though, we need a quick review on how we convert feet to yard, yard to feet, feet to inches, and inches back to feet. All right? So again, this information is, we know that there is 1 yard for every 3 feet. And if we continue on with that pattern, we go all the way down here for 10 yards, that would give us 30 feet. So as we're looking at this table, we should be able to notice a pattern. How are we getting from here to here? 1 yard equals 3 feet. What are we doing from here to here? Some of us might say we're adding 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Yes, but remember a pattern is something that is true for all of the numbers. So let's go ahead and continue. Same pattern. 1 plus 2 is 3. Yes. 2 plus 3 is not 6. So that pattern does not apply to all of them. So that's not a pattern that would be consistent with this. It wouldn't be the rule. Okay. So what is something else that we see? In order to go from 1 to 3, what else could we possibly do? We could multiply. 1 times 3 equals 3. Let's see if that pattern becomes the rule because it applies to all of them. 2 times 3 equals 6. All right, let's see if we're on a roll. 3 times 3 equals 9. All right, let's do a couple more. 4 times 3 equals 12. 5 times 3 equals 15. All right, just for giggles, let's go all the way down here to 10. 10 times 3 equals 30. All right, so we know that the rule for converting yards and feet is to multiply times 3 for every 1 yard. So if we had 7 yards, we would know how many feet by multiplying how many yards times 3. That would give us 21 feet. Okay. Doing the same thing when we are looking for feet and inches. All right. Same thing, but the only thing now is the number is going to change, okay? Looking at why it's changing, it's because the unit of measurement, okay, is changing. You're going yards to feet, feet to inches. It's very different, okay? Inches is the smallest unit of measurement. Feet next, yards larger than feet, okay? So for every 1 foot, there is 12 inches. We need to find that pattern, okay, that makes it a rule. So what could I do here? I could add 11. 1 plus 11 is 12. But in order for it to be a rule, it has to be something that all these numbers follow to make it true. 1 plus 11 is 12, okay. 2 plus 11 is it 24? No. All right, so that's not going to be the rule. That might be one single pattern, but it doesn't become a rule if it only applies once. 1 times 12 is 12, all right. 2 times 12 is 24, okay. 3 times 12 is 36, yep. All right, I'm gonna jump all the way back down here. 10 times 12. Well, 1 times 12 is 12, 0, 0. So 10 times 12 is 120. So the rule here would be to multiply 12 to every foot to get the number of inches. So if I had 6 feet and I need to know how many inches are in 6 feet, I would multiply 6 times 12 to give me 72. Okay. All right, so now with this information, we're going to keep this pretty close because we're going to figure out how we can make conversions. Okay. All right, our first conversion that we're looking at is going to be 5 feet and 1 inch is equal to how many inches? Okay, always referring back to your notes if you need to. So if I have 5 feet, how many inches would that be? We're going to start with that. We're going to just start with this one piece here, and then we can add that 1 inch later. So if we remember, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, but I have 5 of them. So what operation am I going to perform to check that? Yeah, I'm going to multiply. So what was the pattern? We were multiplying by what here? by 12. So we're multiplying by 12. And we're going to just write it down just so it's nice and clearly visible for us so that we know what we're doing. All right, so because we have 5 feet, we can look across here, yes, but we can also still do that math on our board. So we have 5, but we know that we're going to multiply times 12 because there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So if I multiply 12 times 5, 2 times 5, 10. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Gives me 60. So 5 feet is equal to 60 inches. But don't forget this 1 inch. So I have 60 inches, and I'm adding 1 more inch. So that would give me a total of 61 inches. Okay. Keeping that there, I'm going to go ahead and write another problem, see if we can figure that one out. If we have 4 yards and 2 feet, I want to know how many feet we have. All right, so I'm not going to show you the chart once again because I don't want you just look at the number 4 and look across and find the number. I want to know what we need to do. Okay, the very first chart was yards to feet, feet to yards. So if we have 4 yards and 2 feet, we need to figure out total feet. So how many feet are in 1 yard? 3. So if we have 4 yards, and we know that for every 1 yard, it's 3 times as many for feet, we would multiply 4 times 3 to get you total feet, right? All right, but don't forget, we're looking at yards and feet. So 4 yards is 12 feet, plus the already 2 feet we have here would give you 14 feet. The only concern that we might have for ourselves is making sure that we remember the rule. As long as you remember that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, all you know when you're converting inches and feet is that you're multiplying times 12 for feet. Same thing for yards and feet. If you know that there are 3 feet in every 1 yard, doesn't matter how many yards there are, you know you're going to multiply by 3 to get your total feet. Okay? As long as you can remember inches, feet times 12, feet, yards times 3, you can do the math yourself. Okay? All right. Let's do one more problem, but we're going to put it in the form of a word problem because that is, of course, what we're going to do. I'm going to pause so I can write that problem on the board for us. All right, our word problem reads, the school is putting up a new fence. They need enough fencing to cover 50 yards. How many feet is this? Okay, this is the same kind of problem that we were just working on. The only difference is that it's now put into a word problem format. Okay, so what is the information that we're looking for? We're trying to convert what two forms of measurement? I see yards and I see feet. Okay, so we need to figure out how many feet are going to be in 50 yards. So if you remember how many feet to yards and yards to feet that we do have, so how many feet are in 1 yard? 3. So if we know that if we have 1 yard, it equals 3 feet, we're multiplying times 3, right? So if we have 50 yards, what are we doing to that 50 to get to our feet? Okay. So 50 yards times our 3 feet. 5 times 3 is 15. That 0 means it's 10 times greater. All right. So how many feet is this? If you leave it like this, it's not quite complete, so it's not a correct answer. So a lot of you are doing a really nice job restating your sentences, including that question in your answer, which is a really nice 4th grade standard that you're meeting right there. So you include this answer, great, but let's take it a step further and really put it in that nice complete sentence, okay? How many feet is this? Again, there are a lot of ways that you can rewrite the sentence and they would still be correct, even if it's different from someone else. Okay, but my example is going to be there are 150 feet in 50 yards. Because we're answering the question and we're putting the question in our sentence with the answer. So again, today, what we're working on is solving measurement word problems using all 4 of the operations. Okay. And for today, we were able to use multiplication, possibly addition. Didn't use subtraction, but sometimes word problems may call for that specifically, okay? Today's assignment is a little bit more conversions. Make sure that if you are not able to remember this, that's okay. That's why we have a video, but just know that inches to feet, feet to inches, what are we doing? Okay, and this is the rule to convert. Okay, if you have any questions, you need to reach out. Otherwise, do your best. Today's homework assignment, 3 problems, you guys got it. Again, make sure you're asking questions if you need to, because if you don't ask questions, we don't know you need support, right? All right, do your best. Have a great day and happy Tuesday once again.